So I've been out in the woods today, just doing some bushwhacking, just out exploring, checking out some stuff off trail, and wanted to talk to you about some new mesh long underwear I got. I'll put a picture of it right here. So according to the website, the company is pronounced Brynje, is the way they pronounce it. And right now it's 25 degrees outside, and I'm wearing a sun hoodie, a synthetic shirt, and then this mesh long underwear top, and also I just have some lightweight pants on, and these same thing with mesh long underwear. Being active and everything out here, the mesh underwear was a good choice for this. So there's been a lot of videos recently of people talking about it and doing some really good testing. So I'll just let you follow down that rabbit hole on videos and stuff you could watch for some scientific testing and all that kind of stuff. But one thing that people know about, like base layers and stuff that wick sweat, a lot of times it doesn't work. It works better than cotton, of course, but you still, when you've been out, especially if you've been active, like under your arms, the shirt could still be wet, or especially if you're wearing a backpack, their clothes could be wet where your backpack was at from sweating. Now it will dry quickly, but a lot quicker than cotton. But the thing about the mesh underwear is it does a couple things. And to tell you a little bit about my history with the mesh underwear. So back in the late 80s, we were up in Denmark doing some training with some soldiers from some other companies in that area. Denmark, Switzerland, Norway, a few other countries. And it was in the middle of winter, super cold. We were doing some winter training. And we had just got issued some polypropylene. Polypropylene really started coming out in the 80s, and we were one of the first units in the Army to get issued polypropylene. And actually, I still have some, and if you look at the tags on it, instead of having an NSN number, a national stock number, it just says experimental on it. So that was working out pretty good for us. But we noticed that some of the other soldiers, I can't remember for sure, but I assume, since this company is based out of Norway, that they were soldiers from Norway. But some of them had some mesh underwear, long underwear and stuff, and we were asking them about that because we thought it was kind of crazy. And they said, well, it works really well, and their country had been using it for a really long time. And I could kind of see when talking to them how it could kind of work. That, like, before that, I was wearing a typical cotton long underwear that had kind of the waffles in it and stuff. So I could see how that could trap dead air just like this mesh underwear could. But it just allowed a whole lot more room for the sweat and everything to escape into your outer layers, or hopefully on out of your clothing completely. So I could see how it would definitely work. But there wasn't internet, there wasn't anything else around there. I saw that the idea, the concept looked kind of cool. It made sense, and we had just started using the polypropylene long underwear and stuff, and that was working pretty good. So I never really gave it much of a thought until a few years ago. I ran across a random video of somebody that was talking about it, and then I remembered having seen it many years ago, and so I started looking into it. And at the time, I thought, from doing a Google search, the only place that was making it was Brynje, and they were out of Norway, and the shipping and everything, it was already expensive, but the shipping was going to make it worse. So I just didn't do it. I found out recently, I guess in my Google searching, I didn't go down far enough in it, because according to their website, they started producing it in the United States in 2017, so it was here. I just didn't find it. Recently, I was looking at garage grown gear, and I seen that they were selling it. So I went to the actual company's website, their U.S. based website, and saw it there and ordered it. And uh, they have two versions. They have a synthetic version and a wool version. I got the wool version. It's pretty expensive, but the synthetic version is a little bit cheaper. I just kind of prefer wool over synthetic. They both got the pros and cons, but I prefer wool, so I went with that. And man, it really is really nice. I mean, it's real big weaves in the mesh, and it seems crazy that would even keep you warm. But when you really think about it, hopefully that's showing up on the camera. But when you really think about it, you know, it's trapping. It's your outer layer is laying over the top of it and creating those little air pockets in there to trap your warm air, and then of course it's definitely letting the moisture out a whole lot more than a solid piece of cloth. Plus it dries faster than a solid piece of cloth. If you had the same weight of wool that was a solid thing or synthetic, it's going to take longer to dry than this mesh is. So like I said, I could definitely feel, you know, it's 25 degrees and I didn't bring any gloves and my hands have been cold, but the rest of my body, you know, just that mesh shirt, and then just a thin synthetic shirt, my sun hoodie, and I'm nice and toasty. I got warmer clothes in my bag in case I stop for a longer time. But I think it's something you ought to look into. Check it out, do your own research. There's a lot of videos out there. Some of the videos are just people talking about their experience with it and how well they liked it, and other people are doing more scientific testing of it and everything. But company's name is pronounced Brynje or Brynje, and it's really good gear. I think you ought to check it out, the concept behind it. And they've been making it, the company's been in business since the 1800s, sometime in the late 1800s. The first successful climb of Mount Everest, Sir Edmund Hillary, he was wearing that when he did that. They've been around as a company for a long time. They started making mesh, I think, in the 1930s or 40s. I could be wrong about that, but the company's been around a long time. The concept of the mesh long underwear, even though a lot of people were seeing it as a brand new thing, it's been around for a really long time. Like I said, I saw it for the first time being used, and the people being really happy with it in the 1980s, and it's been around a lot longer than that. So yeah, take a look, do a deep dive, YouTube or the website, or just Google and try to, you know, find some information about it. Especially if you're active, and especially if you're backpacking. But even just out doing random stuff outdoors, if you're active or whatever, the mesh, in my opinion, and the opinion of a lot of other people, works a lot better than a solid layer of clothing. So take a look. You'll be pretty happy with it, I think.